Dr. Cornell West. He is a professor of public philosophy at Harvard. For good measure, he is professor emeritus at Princeton. For extra good measure, he taught at Yale just to keep everybody happy. Personal note, I'm tired of seeing him hang out only with Anderson Cooper on TV. I have been thinking about him since the start of this story and this drama. Dr. West, it is good to see you again. Let's establish, number one, that the movement never stopped and is still ongoing every day. And number two, birth is painful. Is that what we're watching? Are we watching the birth of something new here?
Well, my dear brother, it's hard to say. It's certainly one of the lowest moments in the history of this nation. I think that Brother Trump is in the process of becoming an American version of George Floyd, with Pharaoh's and Pontius Pilate's versions of biblical religion. What I mean by that is that there is a disregard for the law we've already seen. There is a sowing of the seeds of greed, hatred, and corruption, and you reap the chaos. That's what Brother Martin said. Chaos or community. You know, the great Rabbi Abraham Joshua Heschel used to say, the very future of this nation depends on how we respond to the legacy of Martin Luther King Jr. What he had in mind was, what are you going to do about your poverty? What are you going to do about your racism? Not just against black people, but against indigenous peoples, against Asians, against Jews, against Muslims, against Mexicans and Latinos. What are you going to do about your materialism, your addiction to spectacle and superficial things of money and commodities? And then what are you going to do about your militarism? Internationally, the military base, your drones, domestically, the militarizing of your police, and the ways in which that has a disproportionate impact on the weak and vulnerable, who tend to be black people and other peoples of color and poor and working class whites, but disproportionately black. And this moment of reckoning, my dear brother, means we're in a fork in the road. Right now, there's a massive crisis in the legitimacy of any leadership who actually speaking out. Of course, the Republican Party is following its neo-fascist gangster who's the leader. The Democratic Party, neoliberal leader, we'll see what Brother Biden has to say, but it's hard to believe that he's going to be able to come through with what is necessary, even though he's so much better than Brother Trump. We must have a spiritual, moral, and democratic awakening among all of the citizens who care, recognizing we're going to disagree in the public square, but recognizing that we are losing our democracy. At any time, any society can no longer mobilize the best of its past. It could be Lincoln, it could be Frederick Douglass, it could be Walt Whitman, it could be Toni Morrison, it could be, well, we won't go on and on. But do we have what it takes? It's hard to say. If our system just becomes so choked by greed and hatred and contempt that it doesn't allow for reform, then the choice is between nonviolent revolution, violent explosions that occur over and over again. And I'm opting for nonviolent revolution. By revolution, all I mean is what Martin Luther King meant, which is a fundamental sharing of power, resources, respect, and wealth, redistribution of wealth, what Brother Bernie was talking about. And I don't believe Bernie has a monopoly on wisdom, even though I supported him twice. But we are in this together. We hang together or we hang separately. But we are also a part of the world. And the world is looking. Chinese empire against our own empire. Can it undergo the kind of democratic awakening? Because it needs fundamental change as well. What about our brothers and sisters in Latin America? What about our brothers and sisters in the Middle East? Oh, precious Africa. It is a global affair. And Noam Chomsky reminds us We've got ecological catastrophe waiting for us. And if we have leaders that view it as a hoax, then the whole planet goes under. And it's all over, and all you got is the cockroaches. That's where we are now. But I do have hope. I'm a blues man. Black people been through slavery. Black people been through neo-slavery called American terrorism and lynching. And we've been through so much hatred, and we've always produced magnificent love warriors like Don Coltrane's Love Scream, Martin King's Love Ethic, and Toni Morrison's Be Loved, and James Baldwin. Love forces us to take off the mask. We know we cannot live within, but fear we cannot live without. Yes, those love warriors, where are they? Where are the love warriors to teach our young people, no matter what color, put love and justice in your struggle and get that revenge out, but we acknowledge the pain and tell them, those at the top, that the days of you weeping, this chaos based on your greed, is producing precisely the opposite of what Amos, what Esther, what Jesus, what Muhammad was all about. Justice, justice, choose ye justice. Let justice roll down like waters and righteousness like a mighty stream. That's Hebrew scripture. Jesus running the money changers out of the temple in the name of the love of a poor people, not losing sight of the money changers, but knowing it's their greed that's choking the best of what was going on in Jerusalem. That's what we need. And if we don't meet that challenge, Brother Brian, the world of trouble, man.
Oh, we're in a world of trouble, all right. A blues man like you no doubt knows my favorite, which is No Shoes by John Lee Hooker, in which he writes about being at the very bottom in life. Just there are no shoes on his feet and no food for his family. And what we are seeing in the streets is the kind of desperation that comes with easily 50 million of our American citizens unemployed, north of 100,000 of our fellow Americans dead in a pandemic that happens to be slicing, way over indexing through communities of color and poverty. Am I correct in saying that some of the destruction we're seeing and some of the looting we're seeing right up to and including tonight is the intersection of anger and opportunity?
On the intersection of anger and massive neglect, massive poverty, dilapidated housing, decrepit school systems, not enough jobs for the living wage, no access to health care, and the collapse of family, the collapse of community, the collapse of schools. And so you get these precious individuals, and I love my brothers and sisters in the street, even when they're wrong, but I love them enough to correct them. Because gangsters come in all forms. I got a lot of gangster in me. But the challenge is the gangsterism at the top has been sucking so much of the wealth owing to the greed, so much of the power owing to its connection to the greed. No democracy can survive when its public life, its public goods are so privatized and militarized and individualized. John Dewey taught us that, of our great philosopher. We've got to look at the best of our past in this moment and see whether we can mobilize it for these new circumstances. If we can, we'll make it out like Lincoln, like FDR, like LBJ. But if we don't make it out, then we just become another empire that had high democratic possibilities, that understood itself as the great city on the hill, the grand exemplar of liberty, but never came to terms with your slavery, never came to terms with your Jim Crow, never came to terms with your working class that was unable to gain access to jobs with a living wage, never came to terms with the humanity of the vast majority of humankind, women, never came to terms with the rich humanity of our precious trans and gay and lesbian brothers and sisters, never came to terms with the new immigrants. Now, I do believe, we've got a whole lot magnificent human beings in this country. The problem is that it's hard for that to spill over given the rigidity of our structures. And thank God that those in the street, especially during the day, come from all colors, all gender, all sexual orientations. So the public lynching of a precious black brother, our dear brother George, sparks something deep in the souls of every color, every gender in this nation to hit the street. That's why I thank God they're in the street. But we do have to acknowledge the degree to which we got to keep track of the best of who we are and render accountable everybody at the highest level as well as those on the ground.
Please remember, all those watching, that we rang in the first moments of June 2nd, 2020. Here we are 16 minutes after midnight on the East Coast. Thanks to our friend, Dr. Cornell West. Dr. West, thank you for spending time with us. It's been too long.
Love you, though, brother. God bless your parents, man.
Standing in front of the
God bless you. God bless your family.